best we can figure, he hit himself in one of the laundry bags and went out with a laundry truck.
Was he alone?
Yeah, he was. Look, we want to put a card on you.
No, the police already offered me protection. I told them I didn't need it.
Come on, what's the matter? Why not?
Because I'm not going to let Mitchell keep me out of my own courtroom. Listen, I'm probably going to pick him up before he crosses the state line.
I don't know, Nick. You be careful.
Okay, Jimmy. All right, bye-bye. What?
In case you forgot, Nick, Mitchell was hot and heavy to come after you 5 years ago after you locked him up.
That was 5 years ago. What happens to a man after 5 years in jail?
That's right. He gets 5 times as nasty, 5 times as strong, and 5 times determined to come after your butt.
What kind of man is this Mitchell?
Oh, he's the worst. He's an absolute creep. Doesn't care anything about himself, so why the hell should he care about anybody else? And ring a bell, Nick?
I care. Listen, I appreciate everybody's concern.
And stay home until they catch up with this guy. Why push it?
Because he has to. He's just waiting for somebody to push back. Well, you may have finally met your match in Mitchell, my friend.
Maybe I should be your personal bodyguard today. You know, just hang around, watch your back.
I'm okay, Gibbs. I'm fine, thanks.
All right. Isn't that what Custer said?
You too.
Just want to be sure.
Of what?
Your desire to stay alive. Fighting for a belief is worth one's life. Fighting to flirt with death is suicide.
I know the difference.
Roof access clear.
Right, got it. Miss McDonald says he'll be coming out in 2 minutes. Stay alert. All right. Alternate exits checked. It's clear here.
Still waiting outside the door.
I see the butchers are massing for the attack.
Thank you.
Do you have an escort home?
Is that an offer?
This isn't funny. Mitchell could be waiting for you anywhere.
Come on, Tara, we've been worrying about Mitchell all day. It's all been for nothing. You're going to be hearing about his capture on the evening news, I'm sure.
Well, the press has arrived.
Oh. I think I'd rather face Mitchell.
Judge Marshall, any comment on Mitchell's death? Are you taking any action? What are the police planning to do?
I have no comment to make at this point, except that for me, it's business as usual. Thank you very much.
Your Honor!
Can we just stay back, people? Stay back. Can you turn around this way? Your Honor,
And don't you be careless.
And ring a bell, Nick?
Maybe I should be your personal bodyguard today.
Fighting to flirt with death is suicide.
The court will come to order. The People versus Nicholas Marshall. The charges are hypocrisy, self-pity, and betrayal. The penalty is death. The prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution. There's nobody here. The defendant is out of order. He's probably also out of his mind, but that's a case for another court. I believe we have everyone we need. Maria? Now, is that any way to come to court?
Hey, come on, will you? Is he? Who needs this aggravation?
Even in dreams he complains. The defendant will be silent. The prosecution will speak. The court will recline.
We will prove, Your Honor, that the defendant has betrayed his principles and made a mockery out of the law.
State calls Ken Horton.
You want to know about Nick Marshall?
I'll tell you about Nick Marshall. He's made my life a living hell. I haven't won a case in 5 years. He's made me feel like a total
incompetent?
putz, geek. All of the above.
Excuse me, Mr. Horton. Is there something you'd like to share with the rest of the court?
Your Honor, I seem to be missing my key witnesses.
I have no choice but to dismiss all charges against Daniel Saccani. Case dismissed. It isn't always fair. I've seen my share of scum slip through the system. But in this courtroom, I will obey the rules of the system. Therefore, on the grounds of illicitly secured evidence, I have no choice but to dismiss this case. Any further actions by this court would impinge upon the defendant's right to a fair trial. Case is dismissed.
All rise.
There's a price for justice. It is seldom cheap, and we are not always ready to pay it. This court has no choice but to rule that the people's case against Harlan McGrath must be dismissed due to lack of evidence.
Waited for the heat to die down, then he off to Clark. We didn't have enough evidence back then. We do now. Signed affidavit.
Yeah, from a non-existent person. The rest is purely circumstantial.
Your Honor, please, don't do this.
Case dismissed. It was my understanding your case was solid. You can't produce the witness.
No.
You better have your act together the next time you step into my courtroom. Do you understand that, Mr. Horton? Case dismissed. Ken, it's nothing personal.
Case dismissed! Case dismissed! Over and over and over like a bleeding parrot. Case dismissed! Case dismissed! I can hear it in my sleep. I can hear it when I walk my dog. And how about that line?
Mr. Rush, justice may be blind, but it can see in the dark.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Don't thank me, Mrs. Hollister. Justice may be blind, but it can't see in the dark.
I must have justice for my family.
Justice may be blind, but she can see in the dark. Hey, Smiley. Justice may be blind, but it can see in the dark.
Haven't we met somewhere before? I know you.
You're free to go, Mr. Pope. Go. And take care. Justice may be blind, but it can see in the dark.
I tell you, big brother, justice is blinder than a bat.
Yes, but it can see in the dark.
What the hell does that mean? Justice is blind? If it's blind, how can it see in the dark? Justice is blind, but it can see in the dark. Justice is deaf, but it can hear in the park. Justice is just a little bit crippled, but it gets around on crutches.
Believe me, Ken, justice is served. See what you did to a perfectly good DA.
Scandalous.
I took care of all those cases.
In the street.
Savage. I can live with it. Oh, no. No, you can't, my friend. You see, I'm afraid if we can't resolve your little crisis of conscience, you won't be making it out of this room alive. The prosecution may call its next witness, but do it quickly. We don't want the defendant to wake up, although I'm betting on death or a coma. Thanks a lot.
The state calls Mrs. Gibson.
I don't believe it.
Well, you better believe it, honey. I'm going to tell the world about how you grown my little boy. Look here. You're the cutest little thing, full of cheer and goodwill.
Oh, that's a good-looking kid.
Never hurting nobody.
An angel.
Oh, you better believe he was an angel, honey. For he got his hands on him. Just makes me mad thinking about it. Who do you think he is? Half big Rambo in a black leather jacket?
Mrs. Gibson, why didn't you tell us what's happened to your son since he's been in the judge's employ?
I hope you ain't got nowhere to go, honey. Because I'm ready, willing, and able to tell my tale. See, I knew it was going to be trouble. I knew it was going to be trouble from the first day they met. Mr. Dean. I'm sorry. I could have been here sooner, but the cops impounded my car. Tried to catch a cab, but do you know how hard it is for a black man to catch a cab in this town?
Listen, you have a kid coming down there by the name of Jericho Gibson. Yeah, right, 48 hours. I want you to make him the worst 2 days of his life. Okay? Yeah. Oh, hey, listen. Introduce him to Daisy.
Come on, keep it down, guys. Yep, beat Daisy.
You are mine tonight.
Oh, God. The vapors. He put my boy in strange, unnatural places.
Some people have high blood pressure. I have high blood pressure.
Some people like salty bagels. Would you also make me a bagel with a little schmear?
Hey, wait